They gonna hold money from us that they owe, and they gonna sue us for money we don't have. We got work to do.
This do or die, kill or be killed. What you want us to do? Go to war?
We gotta win. It's our time. Wu-Tang versus the world.
Yeah, what's going on, fam? It's your man, VACAY-J, and yes, I'm back with another video. Yes, this is for the Wu-Tang Clan and American Saga Season 3, Episode 1 recap. And yeah, we are starting off with 3 episodes. This is for Episode 1, so we're going to definitely recap this one. It's definitely starting off with a bang, so let's break it down.
VACAY-JayTV.
So the name of this episode is I Can't Go to Sleep, and it reads, following 6 months in the wake of the Season 2 finale, we find RZA and the Wu-Tang Clan have moved out of Staten Island to a mansion in the woods of New Jersey. Despite the massive success of their recently released album, they've only just begun. Oh, yeah. So where do we leave off? Yeah, at the end of Season 2, that's right, water busted through to the basement where RZA and all his records and discs were, destroying everything in the process. So they just remind us again of how all those discs and some of the music was lost. And they show us a pool, and the discs are in the pool, but then they show us U-God is in a pool. There's ladies around, and that's right, they have now moved into their Wu mansion. We see Raekwon, the chef, talking a whole lot of junk to U-God. He's walking into the mansion. Then we see Divine. He's putting up a schedule for all the Wu members and the albums and everything that's to come as far as what's going to happen with the Wu Empire. Master Killer's reading that Meth got quote of the year in a magazine, and we see Power and the GZA playing craps, and yeah, the GZA took all his money. Here comes Raekwon pulling out the Foreman grill, and he's about to cook up and chef up a nice sandwich for everybody in the crew in the new mansion, right? We go upstairs and we see who? Ghostface is in the jacuzzi telling them, yeah, bring up some stuff. Don't put no cheese in it. And we see on the side, we see Inspector Deck, and they are now in the studio, the new studio, where RZA is cooking up some beats for Inspector Deck. Inspector Deck is definitely hype about that. He's like, yo, how do you put everybody else first when I'm the first one that be on every single song, setting it off? And they're trying to get the music right. Again, you know, with that whole flood, it really messed up Inspector Deck's whole album. Like everything was lost in that flood. So now here we are at the Wu Mansion in a part of New Jersey. So again, RZA is trying to get the sound right. He's trying to get things back in order. It looks like RZA's having a hard time with this because, yeah, he was traumatized by losing all that work. So, yeah, Inspector Deck's like, yo, the snare's not right, things are not right. And we find out that the RZA hasn't smoked or he's not drinking anymore as well. So he's not doing what he used to do. You know, he's just trying to get a clear mind and stay creative and everything else like that. Inspector Deck's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I can help you out with that. You know, we can get some help. We can get an engineer to come in and just try to get the sounds back. But again, the RZA is real paranoid about his sounds. He's like, yo, I don't want anybody to steal our sound. They're already biting our style. I don't want anybody to take this disc and take any sounds that we got, you know? So he's really, really protective of the sound. And Inspector Deck's like, yo, all right, I hear you, man. You know, he's trying to mess around with stuff, but RZA's like, nah, don't touch that. Don't touch that. But Inspector Deck got another idea. And yeah, he's about to take that disc and see if he can get it repaired. So now we're looking at the schedule as to who's coming out when. And of course, Raekwon's like, yo, when I get my deal from Loud, it's going to be all cracking and popping. And of course, we see Ghostface and they all talking and getting ready for things. But Power's like, yo, we need to expand. We're going to expand on this and expand on that with the whole Wu wear. And of course, they're listening, but they're really focusing on the music, right? They're focusing on what's going on. Here comes Divine, and everybody's getting the Amex card, a Wu Amex card, right? So he's passing them out to all the members, and pretty much he's calling everybody over. He's like, listen, I'm going to give you these cards. but you guys got to pay it off. If not, I'm just going to take it out of your weekly check that you get. Either way, you got to pay it back, right? So, of course, they're looking at the cards. They got the Woo Amex cards. They're getting paid. Devon kind of slides off on Master Killer. He's like, yeah, members only. So what does that tell us? That Master Killer didn't sign that contract, right? So he's talking to the GZA, and they're talking about Ray's album and negotiating everything else like that. And he wants the RZA to go with him, but the RZA's so focused on the music, he's not really going anywhere. Everybody else is having a good time, but the RZA's focusing on the music and just trying to get it right. He seems to be real stressed out. So he tells Devon, yo, go to Loud Records, negotiate the deal. Instead of $300,000, we want $400,000 for Raekwon's album, right? So, of course he's going to do it, but he's like, you sure, man? Like, come on, like, we need to do this together. But again, RZA is really, really stressing out. He's really focused. He's like almost over focused, right? So here comes Mecca, his lady, bringing him a vegan dish, and she's really holding him down. You know what I'm saying? She knows how stressed he is. She knows how, important this is. If it's not for RZA making these beats and getting everything together, none of this would be happening right now, right? So, of course, Devon, as he's handling the business as well, he's like, all right, guys, it's time to go. It's time to go. We need to meet up. We need to get down there. And they're like, yo, what's going on, yo? And Ghostface comes down in a robe. He's like, yo, get dressed, man. He's like, nah, that's that new fresh, finesse stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you guys ain't up on it. This the new material, And it's real funny because, he's just like, yo, I got the fresh stuff. And Power's like, what are you talking about, man? I'm wearing the latest gear and all this and that. He's like, nah, man, this is the stuff that we wear, after y'all got the Amex card. I'm super fresh, right? So, Master Killer's outside chopping it up with the ladies. The GZA, he's not going, but he wants to go out in the woods. And, Inspector Deck's like, yo, man, here, take this piece, right? You about to go out in the woods. He's like, nah, man, it's peaceful out here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go out here and experience nature or whatever, right? So he's like, yo, whatever. So they honk the horn, and it's time to go. So Inspector Deck, he books it, hightails it out of there. They're about to go to the city. They're about to go back to Staten Island and do what they do. They get to the spot. They get to Staten Island. And they drop off Inspector Deck. And they're like, yo, you sure you don't want to go to the club? Because we're about to go to the club, do what we need to do. And Inspector Deck's like, nah, I need to handle some business. He's like, yo, tell your girl I said, what's up? Power's crazy. He funny. He's like, yo, man, get the F out of here. You know what I'm saying? So Deck is about to get up out of there. And he's about to take that disc and try to get it fixed, right? That's his whole mission. Before they jet off, Raekwon sees these young ladies and he sees these white girls. Like, okay, Raekwon got, a little taste for the white chocolate over there, right? So here goes Deck. He goes to this place where they specialize in, retrieving stuff off of discs and, damage. Anything that's damaged, they try to retrieve it, right? So he's like, oh, I see you guys, NASA gave y'all this? He's like, yeah, we retrieve for NASA all the time. So he gave him the disc and said, yo, you should get it back in a couple of days. So we'll see what happens with that. Is he going to get the music back? We shall see. Now, they're up in the club, and they're in the club with Steve Rifkin. They got the VIP, they popping bottles and everything. And, of course, Raekwon and Ghostface is talking about music and everything and talking right in front of Steve like, yeah, we about to pop it off. It's about to be this, that, and the third. And, of course, Steve is right there, and he's listening to everything of what they're saying, and it sounds good. Right? He's like, yo, here's the real flex. Order anything you want. So, of course, Raekwon is like, yo, give me the finest liquor, give me finest of this. It's like, nah, get some Cristal, right? So, of course, Power's still on that, yo, we need to get Woo Wear up. We need to make this happen, you know what I'm saying? So this way you won't be rapping forever, right? So now Steve is talking to Devon. He's like, yeah, that 300,000 sounds good, but we need to up it another 100,000. He's like, oh, 400,000? Okay, that's that upstairs money. He's like, yo, I'll go upstairs with you. So he's like, all right, they're going to meet tomorrow. And then here we go. They're playing Method Man's joint up in the club. Of course, they're like, Wu Tang. So they bring the Cristal. They toast it up because, yes, Wu-Tang is definitely on the rise. Meth at this point is definitely making his rounds with the Takao album. So that album is out and everybody's enjoying it. Meanwhile, Mecca's back home, right, at the Wu Mansion, taking care of the RZA stuff, right? So he walks up in there like, yeah, everything looks good. She's like, yeah, it's well kept because you never sleep here. So she's letting them know like, yo, you in the studio, you working hard, but I'm holding it down. I'm being supportive of you, but, you know, you don't spend time. And he's apologizing because, you know, he's been real focused on doing the album. And she's just trying to hold it down for him. You know, she's doing the best, try to be there for her man. And she says that her mom, you know, the mom sent a blanket and she was going to put it in the studio. So, you know, I kind of feel bad for Mecca, but at the same time, this is the life, you know. He's under a lot of pressure. He's under a lot of stress. He's trying to get like 5 albums done within the next 5 years, right? And he's looking at everything, looking at Ghostface, just his stuff, and he's looking at ODB. Again, ODB and him are still beefing, and they haven't talked since that whole fight when he got ODB signed to Elektra, and they had a fight about it because, you know, ODB wanted to be on Def Jam. So hopefully they reconcile. So here we go. ODB, Dirt McGirt, he is in the strip club and he's getting his rocks off. And yeah, it's time to change shifts. And one young lady comes and says, yeah, it's time for you to go up there. And she's like, don't worry, I'm going to take care of you. And your boy is out there doing all types of crazy stuff, taking all types of stuff he should not be taking up in the strip club. We're going to see what happens with ODB. Now, here we go. We at the big building, and who's walking up the steps? Your boy Divine going up to the top step, the top floor of RCA Records. He's walking up in there, and again, not a lot of people of color are up in there. So he goes to the receptionist, a.k.a. the gatekeeper, and he introduces himself and says, yes, I'm Divine Diggs. And she's like, oh, that's a great stage name. He's like, well, I'm actually an executive. I'm not an artist. I'm here to see Skip. And she's like, oh, just go sit down, right? So he sits down and sees this lady and says hello. She gets up, doesn't say hello, real rude, and walks into like the reception area. So he's looking around like, yeah, these people look mad nervous with me being around. So he gets up to go into the reception area. And of course, the guard is like, sorry, sir, this is private. This is a private area. Like, you don't even know who he is, and you stop and Divine. And he's about to say something. But then here comes Steve Rifkin of Loud Records, comes out like, hey, what's going on, man? What's good, right? So he goes to greet him or whatever. And yeah, thank God, because it was about to be a whole big argument. And he's like, you want a croissant? So they walk into the private area. So guard, you know, you can do whatever you want. So here we go with Power. And Power's in the stores, and he's looking at stuff and just commenting on all the other brands and how they don't have their size. And you know, he's like, yeah, so we need to really get Woo Wear. He's really, really pressing Woo Wear and everything else like that. So the guy asks him if he need any help. He's like, yeah, I'm looking for something, but you guys don't have my size. He's like, yo, I'm a double XL. He's like, oh, you look like a medium. He's like, nah, you know, this is real hip hop stuff. You know what I'm saying? We like it baggy. We like it loose. He's like, well, I'm not really, you know, into hip hop, but my boss is. So Power goes and talks to his boss. Comes to find out, you know, she's his sister. And she really is a Wu-Tang fan. But at the same time, he wants to do business. He wants her to give him a chance. And she's like, well, when you got some solid figures and you get everything together, definitely give me a call. So she gives him a card. And he's like, all right, bet. So now, again, Pow's going to take it to that next level with the Wu Wear. So we're seeing all of the moving parts of the Wu all in place, right? So, of course, you see Divine talking to Steve Rifkin. And he's like, yo, man, you know, it seems like the only way I can come up here and get a check is to have, you know, this white guy, you know, escorting me. He's like, listen, just come up here often, show your face. They'll get used to you and you'll make your way through. So here we go. It's the morning time and ODB is on the floor at the strip club, just waking up. The maintenance guy goes in there, you know, the janitor goes in there. He's like, hey, I know you. You the DBO, the ODB, the BDB. He's like, nah. You don't know me. He's like, yeah, you rapping. Really? He's like, nah, I don't rap. So he skates up out of there. He don't want nobody to know he's there. He's like, yo, the club looks different during the daytime. So here we go with the RZA. He's looking for the disc, looking for Inspector Deck stuff. He's trying to work on stuff, and he realizes that, yeah, Deck most likely took the disc out from the studio, even though he told him not to do anything, right? So, you know, the RZA, he's already under a lot of stress, and he's really trying to get things together. And U-God is outside like, yo, come outside. So he's like, all right, I'm coming outside. I'm here. And U-God's like, yo, man, you know, we got a pool with our logo in it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you just got to appreciate what we got, man, how far we've come, right? He's like, yeah, you right. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, we got a logo, dog. Like, come on, man. Like, we a long way from Shaolin Island. So he gives him £1, and he pulls the RZA into the pool. He falls into the pool, and, he's looking around, and of course, remember, he's traumatized about all that damage to the disc and the music and all that work that he put in, and now he's seeing discs floating in the pool, right? And he's like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? And he's trying to reach out to the disc, trying to get Inspector Deck stuff, save it. He's always trying to save the music. Turn around, he wakes up. It was all a dream, right? It was all a dream. Like I said, he's traumatized by losing all that music and then having to do more work to get it back, right? So now here comes Divine. And Divine is trying to tell him, like, yo, listen, we can't push back the meeting anymore for Elektra. We got to make this happen for ODB. We need to find him. You guys need to reconcile and everything else like that. So, of course, RZA is stressed out because he still got beef with ODB. He doesn't know where he is. He's trying to, just get everything together. It's like, yo, I got to do all these albums. I don't know, how I'm going to get it done. There's so many members, and we can't let the fellas down. So he's really concerned about letting the fellas down. He's not really concerned about, getting sued by the label because they don't want to be in breach of a contract. So they got to do whatever they got to do, bring in some ODB beats and see what they could do. Hopefully, Old Dirty Bastard shows up and he says, you know what? Also, they want to do a remix for All I Need for Meth and Mary. He's like, yo, I don't want to do it. Give it to somebody else. He's like, you sure? It's not Wu-Tang. Somebody else is going to do it. And the RZA's like, yo, go ahead, let somebody else do it. So we're going to find out who did the remix to All I Need. You probably already know who did the remix. Now, we on the block. We got the bootleggers out there. They're trying to sell albums like, yo, check me out. I got that new Wu-Tang, right? So here comes ODB. He rolls up on the bootleg. He's like, yo, man, don't be bootlegging our stuff. You crazy? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with you, son? What's wrong with you? He's like, yo, man, my bad. Like who are you? So he takes off his hood. And the dude is like, oh, shoot, you ODB. Like, he real surprised to see him out there on the block like that. So, ODB is taking down the Wu-Tang. He's like, yo, that better not be Meth's joint, right? I'm taking that too. He's like, yo, you're not even on that album. He's like, yo, man, we a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? His album is my album, So he's trying to explain to the bootlegger he should be bootlegging anybody's stuff. And he's like, yo, man, when you coming out with your album? And he's like, yo, when my brother stopped big brothering me, he's talking about the RZA trying to, treat him like a kid, right? So he takes all the stuff and then he takes some stuff he shouldn't be taking up his nose. And yeah, he's just going off. He's just wilding out. So here comes Mecca again. Mecca's coming in the studio, hearing them put his music together. He was sleeping on the couch again. He's like, yeah. She's like, so how's everything going? He's like, damn, my bad. So again, she's trying to be cool, trying to be supportive, but, she is feeling neglected. So he does try to go over and kiss her. And she's like, ooh, no, oh, no. Like, you need to take a shower. Like, seriously, like, I'll be supportive and all that, but you need to go ahead and get yourself together, unless, you're like, don't want to have sex anymore. And he's like, what? Heck nah, right? So, she's letting him know, like, if you still want to get with me, you got to clean your ass. So they go ahead, take a shower together, and, he gives her the attention that she needs and that she deserves. I mean, she, again, trying to hold him down. So he goes back to the studio after everything is all said and done. And, yeah, here comes Deck. He's like, oh, you stole my disc, man. He's like, listen, man, I took it to a place. They retrieve stuff. You're going to thank me later. And we're going to see if they actually can recover the music from this disc that was damaged with all that water. So here comes Mecca. And she's like, hey, what's going on? Listen, we're about to have a party for Raekwon getting this deal. And he's like, nah, I think I'm going to stay. And she's like, nah, come on now. You need to come celebrate. You need to get out of the studio. Everybody needs to see you. Buster's going to show up as well. And she's like, listen, you need a break. You need to get out, have some fun. You've been working really hard and you need to relax. So, of course, again, she's being a really good girl to him, So Deck goes back to see what happened. And they're like, listen, sorry, we wasn't able to retrieve anything from the disc. He's like, not a snare, not a kick. He's like, nah, there was some fecal matter on the disc as well. So, again, those pipes messed up everything. So he grabs the disc and Deck leaves. And then this other guy comes in and he's like, yo, yo, I know you, B. I know you. I'm a big fan, man. I'm a big fan. You know what I'm saying? I love all your lyrics. And then he's like quoting, like the neighborhood Spider, man. He's like, yeah, man. I know your stuff, man. Yo, man, I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? When are you coming out with your album? And of course, Deck is like, I'm working on that right now, man. I'm working on that right now, right? So now here we go. We see the Jizza, and he's out in the woods, and he's coming up with some real creative lyrics. So he's out there, and he's nodding to his own beat in his head, and then all of a sudden we hear a truck, and there's 2 cars on the truck. Look like 2 Mercedes-Benzes on the truck. So again, everybody's gathering for Raekwon's party. Ray is like, yo, what's this? What's this, man? He's like, yo, that's the Batman and that's the Robin. You know what I'm saying? Talking to Power, right? So they got brand new cars. They're super excited. Raekwon's excited, you know what I mean? They got that little advance. They got the Cristal bottles. They about to pop some bottles. And yeah, the party's about to get started. U-God is excited. Steve is there with some ladies. And yeah, they about to get it popping for Raekwon's celebration party of being signed to Loud Records. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good day for everybody to come together for Ray. Now here we go with Ghostface. He's in there, but he has a headache. And then, yeah, we see this young lady here. You've seen her in everything. But she is like, yo, what's going on? You need to celebrate your boy. He's like, yeah, I'm going to celebrate my own way. So they start kicking it, looking at each other, talking. He's like, yo, you look familiar. You know where I see you from? She's like, oh, you going to play it like that? She's like, yeah, I've been in a couple of videos, And I'm just like, okay, who is this? He's like, yeah, I was in Around the Way girl with LL, right? So he's like, all right, nice to meet you. He's trying to be cool. And then she's like, listen, I'll take care of that headache for you. So she sits him down, and her name is Karina. But I'm thinking, guys, y'all let me know. Is this supposed to be Corinne Stephan, a.k.a. Superhead? Y'all let me know. Is that who she's supposed to be playing? Possibly. I think it is. So Ray sees, Karina massaging his head, and then he walks off, and then he sees his little white girlfriends that he invited to the party. So, yeah, she's taking care of that headache. We'll see what happens after that. So here we go with Divine, and he's talking to the mailroom guy, and the mailroom guy is delivering stuff. He's like, yeah, it's 5 o'clock, man. You still delivering, like, mail, like junk mail? He's like, nah, sometimes I deliver reports, like internal reports of the international sales, right? So he's finding out exactly how the operations work from the mailroom aspect, right? So he sees the receptionist and the guy talking, and they're talking about, somebody getting arrested and them owning the hotel. And he's like, yeah, actually, she can't, continue to go back to the hotel because they sell liquor and, fellas can't do that. He's like, yeah, if they cook the books, eventually something's going to smell. So she smiles and they all laugh. And like, yo, you going to the international meeting? She's like, no, I'm not going to that. When they have those meetings, we have a cocktail, right? And she says, you're more than invited to come to the cocktail. So now Divine is going to get in with the gatekeeper from showing his face, making a little joke, and actually being cool. So that's a good thing. So here we are with Raekwon's party, and who shows up? Busta Bus shows up. And the guy playing Busta Bus, he's all right. He's all right. We kind of find out they actually know each other from way back. And yeah, Busta's just giving props. He's like, yo, man, what would be crazy? Me and ODB, where's he at? And of course, the Riz is like, I don't know. And Busta's like, yo, I remember when we was young, we said all of this was happening, man. And now it's happening, man. Congratulations. Salute. Right? So the RZA, he's happy. He erases the schedule. He's just having a good time winding down. Meanwhile, on the block, ODB is trying to buy some stuff. And then who comes out? The cops come out. It was an undercover, man. And then they try to arrest everybody. And yeah, here we go. Your boy ODB makes a run for it. He hightails it out of there. And they chasing after him, right? So he's going through the blocks. He's going through the gates, going through the alleys, trying to get away. He goes up into this building, right? Runs up in the building. The cops run by. They don't see that he goes in the building. Right, so he goes up the steps, looks out the window. They're looking around for him, looking up. They can't find him. He's up in the building. He got away, right? Thinking everything is all good. He's like, oh, man. But he turns around, and there's a dog barking at him on a leash, boy. And this dog is ferocious, about to bite a hole in his ass. And he's like, yo, chill, 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 right? And then the dog breaks loose. and he runs and jumps out the window to try to get away. I mean, are you serious, dog? Again, you know, he high as a kite. So he jump out, boom, drops on the ground. You know, he falls 2 stories. And man, this guy, ODB, is wild, right? So we at the party. You know, the RZA's like, yo, we appreciate all your love and support. You know, shout out to Ray and his new album. You know, Wu-Tang Forever, the Wu-Tang Takeover. You know, your boy's getting kisses from the white girls, right? And of course, Mecca's there having a good time, trying to get him to get a shot. And, you know, it's about time. You know, he's been working real hard, stressed out. He's unwinding. They take a little shot. And it's looking real good. But here comes U-Guard. Says, yo, you got a phone call, right? So he takes the phone call, and it's Cherie, and she's like, yo, what happened? What happened? Yo, Dirt, he's in the hospital. He's in the hospital, right? I'm going to the hospital right now. So, yes, that's the end of episode 1 of the Wu-Tang American Saga Season 3. Family, let me know what you thought about this episode. You know, definitely a great foundation for everything else to come. Again, they dropped 3 episodes, so look out for the 2nd episode recap that I'm going to do real soon. Look out for that. And yeah, we about to set this thing off for the final chapter of Wu-Tang, fam. So definitely a great start. Let me know how you feel about it. If you found me for the first time, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And I appreciate your likes, your comments, and your shares, family. You know how we do, fam. I appreciate you all for watching. If you like this video, love this video, appreciate this video, definitely check out this next one. Until next time, salute.